What's up, everybody? It's your boy NTC 7000, and I want to talk to you guys today about the coronavirus versus the flu. There's been a little bit of misinformation going on, and I kind of want to get you guys some truth through mathematics. So we're going to actually look at the numbers and see, is this coronavirus actually as bad as the flu, or are they just trying to get money off of creating panic and fear? So we'll be right back right after this intro. If you don't want to watch the intro, just skip ahead 30 seconds and it'll be over and we'll be right into the meat of it. Be right back. My name is NTC 7000 or NTC 7K.
I just took over his intro.
We're challenged.
See that? You jumped.
I can't never forget that. I hate that video so much.
Alright, so I have been having so many conversations about this, and it's crazy how much misinformation is around about this. I mean, just from the math standpoint of it. There's some people that say, yeah, this is way worse than the flu. There's some people that say that this is nothing compared to the flu. There's 63,000 people or 50,000 people or 30,000 people, whichever number you're using, that die in the United States every year from the flu. So why are we so freaking out about the coronavirus? And so I want you to understand the standpoint that I'm coming from, that this is worse than the flu, but not worse than the flu. Okay, you'll understand as we go along. I do think this is worse than the flu because of the numbers, but it's not worse than the flu because we can easily stop this. So I'm gonna get into the numbers right now, and then we'll go into why I think it's not necessarily worse than the flu. All right, so number wise, all right, and these numbers are coming straight from the CDC. These are the averages that they have, and I'm going to give the flu the best chance possible to be on top of the coronavirus and be more deadly than the coronavirus. All right. So I have a paper in front of me here that I wrote all my numbers down, so you might see me glancing down here and there. So for the flu, the CDC states that there's 39 million to 55 million flu symptoms or illnesses every year here in the United States. Anywhere from that number, 39 million to 55 million. There was actually a year that there was only 9 million, and there was rarely any deaths or any of that. So, but we're not going to go into all of that. We're going to do the 39 million to 55 million. And the deaths range from, I can't remember the low number, but I did the high number, which was 63,000. Probably should have wrote down the low number too. You guys are going to think I'm a hack now, but it is what it is. So the biggest number was 63,000, and I wanted to focus on that one because that's really the number that matters. Put the big number there to give the flu the greatest chance possible. All right, and I also wanted to put the lowest amount of infections or illnesses caused by the flu with the greatest number of deaths, just to give it an even greater chance of being more deadly than the coronavirus. All right, and so with the flu, what we have to do with this, if you're not sure how to do the math on it, and that's what's causing a problem for you, so you don't know what's worse than the other, you got to find the value of X, which we need to find the value of what 1% is. In order to do that, we're going to use the lowest number, which is the 39 million, and we're going to divide it by 100. And when you divide it by 100, you'll get the value of 1% because you're dividing the 39 million by 100, and that'll get you the value of 1%. So the value of 1% on 39 million is 390,000. That's the value of 1%. I also did the bigger numbers, also the 55 million, just so you can see that, the difference in the percentage wise. And so the biggest number, the 55 million, that 1% would equal into 550,000. Now with the 390,000, you have to see, okay, so that's the value of 1%. So how many percent is the 63,000? So you would divide 63,000 by 390,000. and you would get 0.16%. So out of the 39 million cases, if worst case scenario, 63,000 people died from it, and the lowest number of people of 39 million that the CDC shows got the flu, and 63,000 of them died, then 0.16% of them would have died from the flu. Now, if we do the bigger number, the 55 million, you would see that from the 550,000, that 0.11%, if you divide 63,000 by 550,000, it would equal into 0.11%. So I wanted the bigger number for the flu, so 0.16%. All right, now we have to look at the coronavirus. Now this is today is the 9th, and the CDC updates a day behind. So they only updated on the 8th. By the time you're seeing this, it'll probably be the 10th or the 11th. By the time I'm finished editing and all of that. So the numbers will be a little higher, but I'm going off of what it's there right now. And so for coronavirus, we have 395,011 cases. 395,011. And with deaths, we have 12,754. Now, this is all in the United States. Now, I'm not doing the global because they don't actually have something in the CDC, unfortunately, for like the global number of people for the flu. Now, I can find how many people have died from the flu this year alone, but I can't actually find how many people would get infected and all of that. And so I just wanted to give you the numbers that I can. So 12,754 deaths, 395,011 cases. So we have to find the value of 1% again. So we would divide 395,011 by 100 to get the value of 1%, which would be 3,950.11. All right, so then we would divide the 12,754 deaths by the 3,950.11, and we would get 3.23% death rate here in the United States. I don't even think I need to go further with the numbers just to show you how big of a difference that is, but I'm going to anyway. So if we look at that and we divide that according to the flu, all right, what we would do to see how many times more deadly it is, we would divide it 3.23% by 0.16, and it would give us 20.2 times as deadly as the flu. Now with the smaller number, I'm going to do both, but with the smaller number, dividing the 3.23 by 0.11, it's 29.3 times as deadly. So it's between 20 and 30 times as deadly as the flu. All right, so let's get this whatever of the flu is much deadlier because we have more cases of it. It's not just by the math itself. Now, the reason why people are freaking out, and this is where the miscommunication is coming, because we're seeing, there's only 12,000 people here dead in the United States compared to it's 63,000 a year from the flu. But what we're trying to do is stop it from getting to the point of the flu. Because if we get to the point of the flu, and I have the numbers for this, if we get to the point of the flu, it will be catastrophic here. It will be really terrible if this becomes a yearly thing and we don't have a solution for it. And so what you would have to do is you would have to take the 395,011, which is how many cases that the CDC is showing, and I divided it into the 39 million to see how many times it would go into it, and it brought me to 98.7 times. I also did it with the 55 million divided by the same amount, the 395,011, and it brought me up to 139.2 times to get to the 55 million mark. So it's, man, I'm just looking at these numbers and it's really crazy. Like it's really crazy. So what I wanted to do is to see, okay, so it's 98.7 times greater number than the 395,000. up to 139.2 times. So if this coronavirus gets to that level, how many deaths would we see? Just here in the United States. I'm not even including anywhere else. Just here in the United States, if it gets on the level of the flu. So in order to find that, I multiplied 12,754 by the 98.7. And that got me 1,258,819. I also wanted to see the biggest number, so I did 12,754, which is the amount of deaths that we have right now for that number, and multiplied it by 139.2, which if it gets to 55 million people here in the United States, we would have 1,775,356 deaths. So the death rate could go from 1,258,819 to 1,775,356 if it continues at the level in which it is at 3.23% and raises to the point of the flu. When you put that 1.2 to 1.7, almost 1.8 million, besides 63,000, which is the biggest number that the CDC has for the flu, you see the difference. And that's why people are freaking out. Because the people that it's actually attacking, it's not the healthier people. It's attacking our grandfathers, our grandmothers. It's even attacking babies now. There's been a child that has died from it, from the last thing that I saw. And that sucks. You know, I mean, if there's something that's going to be coming after our kids and our elderly and killing them like this, you know, they're literally dropping like flies, and that's not a, I'm not even making light of it. Like, that's literally what's happening. And maybe you're in an area where you don't see all of that. I mean, I'm in an area where I don't see all of that, but I see the stuff that's going on in New York, and I know people that live in New York, and like, I'm terrified for them and their family, because this is getting really bad up there. You know, it's like they had a little small drop, and now they have the hugest spike in deaths that they've had so far. Just yesterday, again, today is the 9th, but just yesterday, they showed a spike of deaths in the United States of almost 2,000, which is crazy. 2,000 deaths in a day. And we're not controlling it. So this can get really bad. This can get really bad. And the number that I didn't include on this was the amount of cases that are critical, which is about 10,000 right now here in the United States alone, which means that's almost guaranteed 10,000 more deaths. But I didn't want to include that because there's still a chance for them. But that percentage would have been higher than the 3.23%. Now, what I do want to say is, yes, this is much more deadly. Much more deadly. But the reason why I say it's not as bad as the flu is because we know how to stop it. All right? China has stated, now, we can only go by what they say, but China has stated that they have had no more new cases. All right? And from what I've been seeing on the numbers on different websites, they haven't shown any new cases. They cordoned off their people. They quarantined everyone. And it stopped. So we need to do the same thing. Because if it gets to this level and we don't get it under control, it's probably not going to stop at 55 million. If we don't get ourselves together, it's going to get to every single one of us. And I haven't even done the numbers for that because I don't want to do the numbers for that. But I mean, if we just looking at it at 55 million, there's 300 and something million people here in the United States. So we can just do 6 times that number. So you're looking at, if everyone here in the United States gets it, you're looking at about 10 to 12 million deaths from this coronavirus. That's your grandmother. That's your grandfather. That's your child, maybe. That's your uncle. That's your cousins. That's your family. and we're just acting like it's no big deal. It's fine. I'm healthy, so I don't really care if it gets to somebody else's family. But the minute it starts attacking our family, that's when we're going to see how real it really is. And I want us to come together as a people. I mean, as Americans, we're known to come together during tragedy. You know, and I want us to come together. Take 2 weeks off. Like, chill. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and we can get rid of this. It can be gone. All of this probability of terrifying future deaths could be over with. But it really just depends on us. Now, this isn't something you can do for the flu. The flu is going to transfer back and forth. Millions and millions and millions of people are going to get it. But here, with this coronavirus, we can literally just chill for 2 weeks. All of us. I know there are essential people that need to be out, but I can't tell you how many people, when I'm getting off from work, because I'm considered essential, so I have to go to work. When I'm getting off work, I can't tell you, when I'm passing by Walmart, how many cars at 6 o'clock in the morning are sitting out on that parking lot. We got to get it together, or this is going to get really bad. But we can stop it, and I can't say it enough. I know I'm going on and on about it, but it's very important. Don't let it be at a funeral when you realize it, or a lack of funeral, because some places are not even allowing their people to have a funeral because the coronavirus is still in the body. And so they're just burying them to where you won't even be able to see your loved one again. And if you don't have loved ones, if you're saying that doesn't apply to me, well, have some decency for yourself. Have some respect towards each other. Have some love towards the next person, knowing that you don't want their family member to be the one to die from it. Because everybody has at least one friend. Everybody. And if you don't, well, Jesus will be your friend, and I will too. We got to do something, guys. I've been talking for way too long. I'm going to shut up. Those are the numbers that I have for you. You can make the decision for yourself to listen to the numbers and try to stop this, or you can keep doing what you're doing and then deal with the consequences later. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys so much, and I hope that you all are keeping yourself safe and your family safe. Till we meet again. Peace.